Hello and welcome to the Viking City Motorsports 250 for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series race number 8. This season, in a 10-race regular season and 10-race playoffs, these drivers fighting to find their way into the top 16 and advance into those playoffs that are quickly approaching. Some drivers who've had a difficult start to the season looking for potentially a turnaround here and maybe an opportunity to find themselves in victory lane. They're in some much needed points and that much needed checkered flag to lock you in to the playoffs. Tonight's race sponsored by Viking City Motorsports, and we are live from Talladega Super Speedway. 100 laps in tonight's race, just over 265 miles. The stages tonight, laps 25, 50, and lap 100 being the end of the race, and should be a lot of side-by-side racing action. We've had so many great races here as these guys getting together here in a little pit party before the race starts. Seth Hatchell with a destroyed race car from that, but he currently sits second fastest on the practice boards. Let's take a look at where the drivers enter into tonight's race in the points and who is on the cut line and trying to find their way in with the strong performance tonight. Mark Emerson, AJ Stravato, and Seth Hatchell, the three winners so far this season, find themselves at the top of the point standings. We saw Seth and Ryan pretty much leading, or Seth Hatchell and Ryan Gemmell pretty much leading the points for the opening first 5 or 6 races, and then after last week's kind of unfortunate series of events for both of those drivers, Mark Emerson and Stravato, both jumping up to the top. Those two having very strong races there. But other drivers not locked in just yet, but in pretty good shape here, being Ryan Gemmell, Keith Maotto, Chris Samard, the V-Speed teammates. Eric Gallion has had a great start to the regular season here. And Seth Fares with 4 stage wins, no race victories, but very fast each and every week. A couple of computer issues has kind of really knocked him out of contention in a couple races. Tony Baird in 9th, Eric Hutton rounding out the top 10 after a strong rebound performance from last week. Dennis Faircloth, rookie this season, up there at 11th. Dallas Sullivan in 12th. Josiah Vincent in 13th position. Nick Starling, who is not going to be here tonight, 14th in points. So going to be interesting to see if Nick can hang on to that top 16 spot. It's going to really take kind of a poor performance by Allen and Timmy behind him, who are currently inside the top 16. Cody Adkins, 17th. Josiah Vincent, Kevin Cornelius, and Justin Carey all looking to find their way into the top 16. These are the drivers on the outside looking in. They could lock themselves in with a victory tonight, and probably a better chance here than anywhere else in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for some underdogs up there at the front, really trying to capture that victory and make a surprise entry into the playoffs. Should be a lot of fun. A few names on the outside here looking in that usually pretty strong at these super speedways. I believe Dale Glessner had a very strong performance. I don't think he is actually racing tonight, though. It does not look like Dale is here. So Eric Lambert was very good at Daytona earlier this season. Trying to see who else stands out as having a good performance in that race. Possibly Nick Gardner. He's had a couple of stronger performances here as of late and starting to climb up through the standings a bit. Still a long ways to go to make his way in, but keep an eye out for some of these guys at the back of the standings here as we have the drivers on track for qualifying. No one has gotten a time in just yet, but Seth Hatchell on screen trying to get his first lap time in right here as Nick Alves fastest on the board first time around, and he will hang on to that. But lap number 2 underway for the number 24 machine. He makes his way down the back straightaway, trying to get that car as close to the inside line as possible. Take that shortest route when you're all by yourself. Right now it's Nick Alves Lyle Sulfridge, Seth Hatchell, AJ Stravato, and Safe Fair is the top 5. As now Timmy Emanuele jumps in the top 5. Tony Baird as well. Lane Sulfridge also jumping into the top 5. So some of these drivers with very quick first laps. Sometimes that's not what you want, though, for your second lap. As Safe Fair is now to the top of the board, 51.316. Joey Mines up there in the top 5. Nick Alves, Keith Mayato, Seth Hatchell now with a 51.338 on his second lap. AJ Stravato jumps in there with a 3.24, so he will not win the pole tonight. Number 48 car, but it's a very strong lap regardless. And waiting for a few drivers to bring in their second lap here. Eric Hutton, the number 77, he's been strong on these super speedways. We saw him win in the Virtual Racing League and the number 88 car. And we'll see if he can do it again here at Talladega Super Speedway. Just 1 week from that victory. Across the line there, 51.344. That's going to be good for 4th fastest. Nice lap time there in the Buffalo Trace Chevy Camaro. As Josiah Vincent in the Coca-Cola machine jumps up into 6th. Jordan Scheffler currently 7th in a new paint scheme on that ride. Definitely a nice looking car. Got kind of the chrome to black fade there. Definitely a nice scheme on that one. Like the V-Speed red on the 13 up top. The Safe Fair is currently your fastest driver on the boards. He's been strong at these super speedways in the past, winning a stage at Daytona. And we'll see if he's able to follow up his performance there. I know he was caught up in something in that race, but very quick. Also, Ryan Gemmell considers himself a super speedway ace, currently 27th with just his first lap time in. But on lap number 2 right now, trying to pick it up. See if he can get up there towards the top of the leaderboards. His teammates, Keith Mayato 15th, Chris Simard 12th, and Seth Hatchell in 3rd is Gemmell, right down there by the infield grass. Across the start finish line, 51.348. That'll be good for 5th fastest. So not quite a pole time, but a good lap time nonetheless. Dylan Teal was actually fastest in practice. The number 78 car. As he crosses the line to complete his first lap, he'll go to 29th and try and pick it up from there for lap number 2. But a few drivers left to qualify. We're going to jump to a quick commercial break and be right back with the starting grid. V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/VSpeedSim.
Hey, honey.
It's happening. The baby's coming.
Okay, I'm on the way. Hey, buddy, you ready for the big game?
You're gonna be there, right, Dad?
Pal, you can count on me. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Hey, honey, Josh's flight landed early. He'll be here about 6:30. Can you make it?
Okay, I'm on my way.
We've got total gridlock out there this afternoon.
The average American spends over 40 hours a year, nearly 2 full days, stuck in traffic on our broken roads and bridges, while our lives move full speed ahead. It doesn't have to be this way.
Where is he?
Husband's on his way.
It's time for Washington to get America moving again by finally funding our country's infrastructure.
Where's Mom?
Tell Washington to fund America's infrastructure, because life won't wait.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors. Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey. Back at the racetrack now, drivers headed to the starting grid and getting ready to get tonight's race underway. Let's take a look at where your favorite drivers are starting in tonight's race. Rolling off from the pole, Safe Ferris, the number 44, looking for his first victory of the season. 4 stage wins for the driver of the 44 so far this year, but no race wins. We'll see if he can capture one here tonight and get that monkey off his back. Rolling off on his outside, a 4-time winner of races this season, the number 48 of AJ Stravato, with a nice lap time. He'll roll off on the front row alongside Safe. In row number 2, it'll be Seth Hatchell, the number 8 car winner from Daytona this season, and Eric Hutton, winner from Talladega in the Virtual Racing League so far this year, just last week. No victories here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. We'll see what he can get tonight. Ryan Gemmell going to be starting in the 5th position here tonight. Nick Gardner going to be rolling off from 6th spot. Josiah Vincent starting in 7th position here tonight. And Jordan Shepler going to be rolling off from 8th. Starting in 9th, it is Zach Smith, the number 1 car, and Dylan Teal rounds out the top 10 on the starting grid. In 11th position, Nathaniel Ostrowski. 12th, Dennis Fairclough. 13th, Jeremiah Vincent. And 14th, Chris Samard. 15th is Joey Mines. 16th, Nick Alves. 17th is Keith Mayato, and to his outside, Brett Sommers in 18th. Starting 19th, it's Tony Baird, and rounding out the top 20, Kevin Cornelius. Starting 21st, Lyle Sulfridge. Starting 22nd, Cody Adkins. 23rd, Alan Dice. 24th, Lane Sulfridge. 25th, Dennis Steele. And 26th, Justin Carey. 27th, TJ Brendel. And rolling off 28th, Timmy Emanuele. Starting 29th, Kyle Payne. Rounding out the top 30, Eric Lambert. Rolling off 31st, Mark Emerson, a 2-time winner this year. And to his outside, Eric Gallion in 32nd. Dallas Sullivan starting in 33rd here tonight. Brandon Vasquez rolling off from 34th. And last but not least, Robert Gilmore starting in the 35th position. A 35 car field here from Talladega tonight. Going to be very exciting. Let's take a look at the weather as these guys make their way down the backstretch. 107-degree track temp. So things could be pretty slick up there in the second and third groove. We've seen cars get light on turn entry in the past. Depends on how the setup is here tonight for these guys. But 79-degree air temp, not too bad in that regard. So nice night for the fans here in Talladega. Of course, as always, cheer on your favorite driver. Let us know you're out there, who you're rooting for, and who we can follow along with throughout tonight's race. We'll see how these guys do here. We're racing the stage number 1 on lap 25. Shouldn't have to make a pit stop before then, but it could be close for some of these drivers, especially if you're at the front of the pack. Gonna get a little bit worse fuel mileage, so get ready to rumble. It's about to happen here at Talladega for race number 8, the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. And it's going to be Safe Ferris and AJ Stravato leading the way as we head towards the start-finish line to kick things off here. And green flag in the air. We are underway from Talladega for the Viking City Motorsports 250. Race number 8, the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series regular season. The field dives down in turn number 1, mostly side-by-side, except for a few. Is up there on the high side. The teammates, the 48 and 77 nose to tail, and down on the inside, Ryan Gemmell, Seth Hatchell, and Safe Ferris, essentially all teammates, pushing that low line down the back straightaway. Ferris with the advantage as they make their way down to turn number 3. There's a car on the apron. That is the 41 of Nathaniel Ostrowski getting out of the action, but he gets up into the pack well deep in the field, 19th position. He lost quite a few there, but Safe Ferris with a 2 or 3 car length advantage over AJ Stravato as they head towards the tri-oval and towards the start finish line to complete lap number 1. Big run coming from the outside though, but it's going to be Ferris at the start finish line. He will lead lap number 1 and get those bonus points as the outside lane just 3 cars deep right now, and the inside about 6-7 cars. It looks like Jeremiah Vincent trying to join the party on the high side, as well as Chris Samard back here in 14th. He's being pushed by Nick Alves, and the field a bit staggered right now. I'm surprised to not see more on the high side in the early going here, but we've got kind of clumps of cars up there on the high side. Down on the inside, pretty well straightened out here. Not too close, so not a lot of nose to tail pushing, but AJ Stravato with the big run on the high side. He's going to try and lead lap number 2, and he will, I think. It was dead even, and it was Safe Ferris at the line, so Stravato denied of a lap led here in the first couple, but that outside line definitely showing some strength even with the low car count up there. And Safe Ferris trying to kind of run the middle of the track, give some airflow to the nose of Seth Hatchell behind him. These cars are known to overheat pretty quickly. Jordan Scheffler straddling the yellow line there. Able to collect that race car and get back in line. But right now it is AJ Stravato, Eric Hutton, and Nick Gardner pushing that top lane along, and Jeremiah Vincent starting to close in, but still not quite close enough, and they are starting to wiggle about on that inside lane. Safe Ferris leading at the line once again. As Jeremiah now caught up to those top 3. So 4 cars in a row, and we've got another one, Dennis Faircloth. He's bringing a couple more with him. That's Joey Mines and Nick Alves behind him. As now they're pretty well even in that front pack on the high side and low side. Look at this, side by side, 7 rows deep. Safe Ferris still continuing to show the way down low, but the high line definitely gaining some momentum and some traction up there as they head towards the tri-oval once again. They're not quite able to make the run to get the lead at the line, but they are closing in now. The gap just about a half car length as the 48 pulls up alongside the 44. And down through turns 1 and 2, they're going to drift back just a little bit, but the momentum will show as King down the back straightaway here. They've just got to stay organized in order to do so. But the inside line, really just 3 primary cars pushing at the front. And Josiah Vincent lagging back just about a half car length. As a few of these drivers up here definitely needing good points runs in the stages, and also could really use a win, honestly, to make their way into the top 16 or advance to the playoffs. But not quite able to make anything happen on the high side is AJ Stravato. He's still showing the way up there, and they're fairly organized, but Josiah Vincent starting to jump out there. Almost looked like he was going to go to a third lane, but elects not to do that. Probably a good move here, just lap number 6 at the moment, and maybe just trying to scope out what's happening at the front and get some clean air to the nose of that race car. Look at Dennis Faircloth rocking the Camping World paint scheme. Nice looking car. All the Camping World cars have looked really great, and awesome what they've been doing there in the truck series the last week or so. Is now Stravato with the push across the start-finish line. He will lead a lap. Big help there from Eric Hutton, but here comes the inside line with the charge back to the front. As it is safe fares for Team Red. Speed down low, supported by the 2 V-Speed Camaros of Seth Hatchell, Ryan Gemmell, and on the outside, the LDR teammates of AJ Stravato and Eric Hutton getting some work done as they pull even headed into turn number 3. But once again, not really able to pull much of an advantage at that point. And taking a look a little farther back, Chris Samard back here now with his teammate Keith Mayato. Lane Sulfridge back here on the high side. He's got, that is the 68 of Kyle Payne behind him. So we do have side-by-side racing even this far back. This is outside the top 20. As there goes the 71 dropping to the inside. He'll look to the inside of Alan Dice, and then next one in line, Cody Adkins. And Cody on the outside looking in terms of the top 16 and looking for some points here, but currently 20th position and not going to be able to get any right there. But how about Mark Emerson, 2-time winner from this season? Let's go on board with him. Up 14 positions. The American Trucking Association in-car camera. Of course, this series brought to you by the American Trucking Association. And there's tonight's sponsor right in front of you as well, Viking City Motorsports, on the tailgate of Timmy Emanuele, driver for Viking City Motorsports. Those guys are a big supporter of this league, and I want to thank them again for coming on board. As we've got a car going down towards the wall. I think that's Seth Hatchell trying to get out of this view. What happened to Hatchell there is he drops all the way to the back of the pack, actually spun out, and damage on that race car. Didn't see what happened here. Oh, that's what happened. Currently looking at the replay here. Hatchell had gained the lead on the inside. Looks like Safe Ferris was going to come down. Stravato just came right with him and then tags Seth. Seth nearly keeps it out of the wall, but not able to do so. Big hit the left side of that race car for the driver looking for his second victory of the season. He'll limp it back around well below speed. And no caution for that one, so he's going to have to hope to stay on the lead lap for the next 15 laps or so. Maybe a tough task is now Stravato pulling out in front after collecting the 8 machine. Looked like just a miscommunication or just a lack of awareness there. Rare mistake from Stravato, but looked like he was just going to try and follow safe to the bottom, and there was definitely a car to the inside. Here comes Hutton to the outside now, going to challenge his teammate for the race lead. Behind them, Nick Gardner, the 16 car. We mentioned him earlier. Could be a kind of a dark horse. He's had a couple stronger performances here as of late. and could be one of those drivers that sneaks up into the top 16 before it's all said and done. Also could earn a win here after what I remember being a fairly strong performance at Daytona. But right now, second car on the outside. And AJ Stravato leading the way. Safe Fares behind him. Does Safe make a move to that high lane? Try and leapfrog the 48. Stravato trying to get a stage win here and add to that playoff point mountain that he's already got. Huge stack of playoff points for the 48. Next closest being Mark Emerson with 10 playoff points, but AJ with upwards of 20. I think it's 22. So the most of anyone, but still not your points leader. There are drop weeks in the standings. I believe just one drop week for these drivers. So your worst race kind of gets dropped off of the total, and everybody kind of rebalances from there. So some drivers missing races will have a 0 dropped off. Safe Fair is going to lead him to the line, but here comes Hutton. He's going to take him 3 wide, and everybody goes with Hutton. Nobody going with Safe, as he is going to get sucked backwards here. The only car in that middle lane. We'll see if he can hang tough, and they are approaching Seth Hatchell 3 wide at the moment. This could get very dangerous as Hatchell about 20 miles an hour off the pace. He'll go to the 3rd lane, but they'll have to settle things out quickly here behind him. Right now there are 3 lanes currently occupied, and everybody trying to get really low here, it appears, as Hatchell way up by the wall there. We'll see how they get around him. You can go 4 wide here, and it's about to be 4 wide for a moment, as Hatchell right up by the outside wall, and everybody pretty well making it past him. 3 wide for a moment right here, but he will go a lap down early on. The only car 1 lap down, and from first to last, definitely a heartbreaker early on in this one for Seth Hatchell, as Nick Gardner jumps to that 3rd lane, or he kind of gets hung out there to dry, it appears, and Kevin Cornelius and Jordan Shepler to his inside. We'll see if he can get back in line here. A little bit loose up there in the 3rd lane, lost a bit of momentum. He finds a gap right there in front of Joey Mines and alongside the 39 of Timmy Emanuele, who is also sporting a new paint scheme for Viking City Motorsports. And we've got Zach Smith down on the apron here. That's not what you want to see at that part of the racetrack, and things kind of taper up here headed into turn 1. He's able to get back on track, currently into the inside of Mark Emerson, and having a little bit of trouble keeping that car steady. So they make their way onto the back straightaway. It's going to be 10 laps to the end of stage 1 next time by, and already some fantastic racing action so far in this race. Right now it is AJ Stravato and Eric Hutton in control of the 2 lanes. Behind them, Ryan Gemmell and Safe Fares, and then Jeremiah Vincent, Kevin Cornelius, Mark Emerson, and Jordan Shepler. Those are the first 4 in both lanes. And Hutton will beat the 48 to the line. Here goes Safe to the inside. Oh, almost a big mistake right there. They did make contact. They stack up behind them. Jeremiah Vincent gets shuffled out, and Zach Smith back on the apron, and there goes the 81 of Cody Adkins around. They are wrecking here out of turn number 2. Some big hits for a few drivers. 71 of Lyle Sulfridge getting hit right there. Oh, and it's a massive impact. I don't know who that was, but the 71 of Lane Sulfridge gets T-boned as he tried to spin that car back around. I think that's the 78 of Dylan Teal. And it was. Let's go back to how this all started. Saw the 81 of Adkins go around. All right, let's take a look at what happened right here. Caution number 1. Looking at the 81 car, they stacked up a little bit in front of him. The one car was on the apron. It looks like Dennis Faircloth maybe got hit. He gets tagged by the 24. That turns the 70 and the 71, the 68. Dennis Steele making it through. That might be an interesting perspective. Let's see if we can get a kind of more overhead. A few cars involved. Alan Dice, a big hit there. You see Eric Lambert locking the brakes down farther back. And, oh, yep, we had more impacts. I think that was just the 71 after getting spun around here. He was backwards and backs it into the wall, and that huge hit there by the 78. That is, that's going to be most likely a race-ending incident there. But let's take a look from Dennis Steele, who appears to have made it through this. And found a window there, lifted. Very, very good job avoiding that one. As you don't really know what's going to happen. That 71 car coming up the track like that. But a good job there by Dennis Steele to get through it. And first caution of the race. Driver's going to bring it down pit lane. And trying to figure out how many sets of tires they have. It looks like 4 additional sets in this race. And that should be more than enough for a track like this, as it looks like the top 14 stay out. Quite a few drivers either taking 2 or just fuel. But Eric Hutton will remain your race leader here during stage number 1. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Boston Web Marketing is New England's largest full-service web marketing company specializing in SEO, SEM, website design, social media management, reputation management, and more. Founded in 2009, we have rapidly expanded and are able to service small to large clients nationally as well as worldwide. We are a long-standing Google partner with a large team of SEO specialists, certified AdWords professionals, web designers, social media experts, and web marketing gurus. Our team provides excellent, knowledgeable, and highly effective web marketing services. Contact us today to get started. 617-676-8109. www.getfoundquick.com.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying, to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server and with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
The field working into turns 3 and 4. We will be going green this time, and it'll be 6 laps to go to complete stage number 1 right now. Eric Hutton and AJ Stravato on the front row for this restart. Behind them, Josiah Vincent, Ryan Gemmell in 3rd and 4th positions, and then we've got looks like Mark Emerson and Kevin Cornelius 5th and 6th. It should be interesting. Some teammates up here towards the front, some affiliate or alliance team members, and not a lot of laps to figure things out as they work back towards the start finish line. Oh, they're stacking up at the back. It looks like that is the 70 and the 57. Here comes Safe Ferris on the apron to get back into line. I'm not exactly sure where he's supposed to be, but that is a little bit of a messed up restart, I think. We'll have to see what happens there with Safe. Yellow flag flies, though, straight away. We've got a big stack up farther back. Cars going around. Keith Mayato involved. I don't know if anyone else was, but that may not be good. Looks like the 40 of Robert Gilmore and maybe the 41 of Nathaniel Ostrowski involved in this one. Let's see what happened here. All right, looking back here at the replay, Keith Mayato right there in front of his teammate Chris Samard, and then we see Safe Ferris fly by on the apron as they get going. Not sure if Keith, oh, they check up. Keith either spins the tires, he gets into the 28 and gets tagged by his teammate. But big hit there. Dennis Steele, who had just made it past the wreck previously, he gets caught up in this one, as well as a few more. So Safe Ferris coming up there. They stack up down low behind the 98 and the 41 of Ostrowski around. Kyle Payne involved. Dallas Sullivan up there in the wall. But that kind of all started, I think, with the 98 of Tony Baird. What happened here exactly? Nope. Maybe Jordan Shepler, the 13, actually checking up there. I think a chain reaction to what happened with Safe. He pulled up to the back and basically hit the brakes, and that really checked everyone up behind him, including Jeremiah Vincent, Keith Mayato, and then chaos ensuing. So cautions breeding cautions. An unusual incident for Talladega, but that may lead to Eric Hutton winning this stage. I'm not exactly sure if they're calling it here or not. Kind of within that gray area. And Seth Hatchell was the lucky dog under that first yellow flag, so he finds himself back on the lead lap, currently 30th. And his teammate Keith Mayato back there with him now in 32nd. Lane Sulfridge with the big damage from that wreck on the backstretch. Right there in front of him in 31st. And we still have 34 drivers on the lead lap. Dylan Teal, the only one off of the lead lap. But Ostrowski may be going one lap down here. If he's not careful, looks like the field's starting to work up alongside, so he is going to take the lap down. And a few drivers bringing it back down pit lane, including Robert Gilmore in the Simulator's Anonymous machine. A silver bullet. Old Bill in chat cheering for Ryan Gemmell. T. Fowler 40 asking where Brett Somers is at. He is currently 20th position, right around where he started. No damage on that race car. He was able to make it through the first caution. So nice job there by Brett. And hanging tough right here in the top 20. Thank you for the follow, Dear Agony. Great song by Breaking Benjamin, if that's what you're referencing, but with the deer. And so we've had 2 cautions here, kind of in rapid succession. And drivers trying to figure out how to make their way into the playoffs by winning. But right now, it is Eric Hutton up front who's well in contention to make the playoffs as is. And AJ Stravato, the 4-time winner this season, trying to get another stage win. Ryan Gemmell, who's won a couple stages, I believe, this season. Just 1 stage win, actually, to this point. Trying to find some more points there, but comes into the race 4th in the standings. Right now, 3rd in the race. Behind him, Josiah Vincent. And Josiah has missed a couple races this season, and he's still 18th in the standings. So, haven't seen the consistency like we saw last year. Has not been quite the season that it was. Really a dream season for Josiah, who ended up with a couple victories, and I think by far and away had the most top 10s of anyone. Just very, very consistent. Always found the front, at least towards the end of the race, even if he wasn't getting all the stage points. But not so this season as much. But right up here in the mix to start this one off. Kevin Cornelius had a good run. I believe it was Daytona. He had one a couple weeks ago, too, that I think he finished on the podium. We talked with him up here in the booth, so we'll see what he can do from the 5th position here. And we will be going green, and I think it'll just be a 2-lap shootout to the end of the stage. And they'll throw another yellow flag. At that point, we'll see if we can get an interview in, or maybe go to another quick commercial break. But long caution laps here. Thank you, dear Agony, for that. Appreciate it. And yes, Dylan Teal did take it behind the wall. Heavy damage to the nose of that race car, and he decided to call it a night and not try and race another 75 laps. We've got Nick Starr cheering on the 1, the 13, and the 39. Nick Starling, who is missing tonight's race, unfortunately, but also a strong contender, winning at Talladega last week. So, his name would have been up there, and it's going to be close, Nick. You're going to be really close to that cut line, I think, after tonight's race. So, it'll be interesting. Just a couple more for you, and rooting for you to make it in. But the 77 of Hutton going to lead the way here for this 2-lap shootout. And then AJ Stravato, Ryan Gemmell, Josiah Vincent, and Kevin Cornelius, the top 5. But don't count out that 39 machine, the 80 car, the 21, Justin Carey. He's good on these tracks as well. As we work towards the green flag, there it is. Eric Hutton, a good restart. And Ryan Gemmell right there behind him times it perfectly as they pull out about a car length and a half in front of Kevin Cornelius. No room for the 32 to drop down in line. And they are going to pull a car length and a half out in front of AJ Stravato. So it was too good of a restart. Those 3 on the top side linked up pretty well. The teammates there, teammates and Alliance team members. So now the inside line starting to get a bit more grouped up. Dennis Faircloth fading a little bit there on the high side. Going to be very close for him to make it into the top 10 here by the end of lap number 2. Here comes Safe Ferris, who had the interesting situation there on the restart. Not sure why he had to come back up through like that, but either way, almost a big incident right there. AJ Stravato nearly turned off the nose of Josiah Vincent, but they survive, and what a save from the 48. And the 4 car gonna have to try and give him another shot here. Here goes Gemmell. He's gonna bring Kevin Cornelius along with him. Those 2 trying to win the stage and linking up. They're gonna leave the 77 down low. Here comes Timmy Emanuele to give support. Stravato going to go to the middle, now jumps to the high side, and Gemmell, I think, kind of left out there to dry. No, he's still in control of the second line, but Kevin Cornelius out in front, and Hutton now back up in the mix. It's going to be close, headed towards the start-finish line. 77 jumps outside, 17 down low. Ryan Gemmell now looks to go to the third lane. He's going to get hung out to dry there. Not going to work out for him, but Kevin Cornelius, I think, is going to have it at the line. Kevin Cornelius will win stage number 1. And there's the yellow flag. And so they're wrecking after the stage, Gemmell and Stravato. Oh no, this is very eerily similar to what we saw at Daytona. They didn't wreck that hard at Daytona though. And oh boy, let's take a look at the stage results before we diagnose what happened there. But Kevin Cornelius, your stage winner, his first of the season. So congrats to Kevin on that. He'll get 10 bonus points, much needed for the 17 car as he comes into the race outside the cut line. 1 playoff point for him. Eric Hutton second, Timmy Emanuele third, Stravato fourth, but he paid the price. And Zach Smith fifth, Mark Emerson sixth, Ryan Gemmell seventh, Justin Carey eighth, Josiah Vincent ninth, and Tony Baird rounding out the top 10. And let's go back here and see what happened. Big hits by the 6 and the 48. And we are under caution, so we can use this transition here. And I want to figure out exactly what happened. They were going 4 wide, I think. Figure out exactly what happened. Gemmell up high. 32 of Emerson looks to the middle. Ends up turning the 48 into the wall. And Gemmell nowhere to go. Down across the racetrack, the 24 of Alves into it. Dennis Faircloth, I'm not sure. He made a little contact there. But that's what people were seeing around. Okay, he gets tagged by Tony Baird, but otherwise, really a great job to hang on to it. But Tony Baird involved in this one pretty heavily. And that is a disaster, really, for the drivers of the 48 and the 6 machines, who finished in the stage points, but Mark Emerson, I think, up along the back bumper there. Maybe I got to get a better view of that. Oh, I think Stravato maybe just lost it on his own. Let's go to the overhead camera here. See if we can figure out what happened. Oh, it was... Man, that is tough. Huge net code striking right there, and that's going to really affect a lot of contenders in this race. Nick Gardner stays on the racetrack along with a few others. Mark Emerson, Brett Summers, Joey Mines all staying on the racetrack along with Kyle Payne, Dallas Sullivan, Lyle Sulfridge, Robert Gilmore, and Dennis Steele all staying on the racetrack. And that's the worst case scenario for these drivers. They put the front bumper cover back on the 6 car. They must have pulled it, gotten it off the racetrack there as he backs up to get out of his stall. And he will stay on the lead lap. But AJ Stravato, I'm not sure if he had to tow, but a very extended stay. So I think he may have towed to pit road and might be out of this one. Nathaniel Ostrowski still 1 lap down, but I think he's I'm not sure if he's actually getting his lap back here. He may have gotten the lucky dog on this one. But things not going very well for Team V-Speed. They've been involved, I think, every driver now with at least some damage. So going to be a tough one here. Chris Simard leading that group, and he is in 19th. So not really how they expected tonight's race to go. G. Mitchell, 262, thank you for the follow. Thanks for tuning in. And here comes Mark Emerson. He'll bring it down the pit lane. And not sure what the call was there. Maybe missed pit lane or a late decision to stay out. Here comes Dallas Sullivan with him. Thank you for the follow, Nathan Dahl. Appreciate that. And thanks for everyone tuned in tonight. This is race 8 of the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, the Viking City Motorsports 250. Talladega Super Speedway. Currently past the quarter mark in this one, but it has been messy. They went about 15 laps, 16 laps, clean and green and great racing, and then basically all hell broke loose out of turn number 2, and a lot of drivers impacted. And then to follow that up, there was a wreck on the restart, and then right here after the stage, big spike of netcode, striking and taking out a couple of the top contenders. So really an unfortunate instance there. Second or third time we've seen that from Talladega, and lately it seems to have become more and more of a problem here in the iRacing service. But right now, Nick Gardner, your race leader, and Brett Sommers, the number 7, to his outside. And then Joey Mines, Kyle Payne, all these drivers electing to stay out during the stage break here. Kevin Cornelius was your stage winner. He will restart in 11th position. But looks like the top 7 staying out on the racetrack. Obviously, tires not playing as much a role at a place like this, but we did see a few drivers get loose late in the going in stage number 1. Actually, really just the first run, so about 14, 15 laps in, we saw drivers starting to get a little bit squirrely. And we'll have about 20 to go to the completion of stage number 2, and we'll see if the same tire wear strikes. Very high track temp tonight. As Nick Gardner, Brett Sommers will lead the field back to the start-finish line, and blinking issue there for the 16, but he will be the leader here. Waiting for that green flag to fly, and there it is. They get going. Good restart by both of those two on the front row. Not as good by the drivers behind them, Kyle Payne and Joey Mines, but they will get single file quickly, those top 4. As nearly a problem there. Robert Gilmore almost came down into the side of the 28 car of Dennis Steele, the 2 silver machines. And Eric Hutton already looking to take it 3 wide. He will jump to the outside of Robert Gilmore, who is hindered by that damage. And no help for either of those drivers as everybody goes to the inside line. And so Eric Hutton all by himself up high. Now here comes Safe Ferris with Kevin Cornelius. Those 2 teammates going to try and make their way back to the front. As they will jump to the outside now of the 70. Lyle Sulford now 3 wide. Kevin Cornelius, the 70, and the 28. And up at the front, Nick Gardner will lead under green here, and the 7 of Brett Sommers right there behind them, as here come the Team Red Speed teammates on the outside. And 68 of Kyle Payne down there. He's trying to bridge the gap between the 20 and the 28. And quite a few damaged race cars up here in the mix. Jeff Razor 1, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. Safe Fair is now going to the high side and taking the lead away with a big push from his teammate there. These two do have to be a bit careful. We've seen netcode strike, and you got to be careful pushing in the turns no matter what. But headed towards the start-finish line, they are in control of this thing up high. Here comes the 1 of Zach Smith trying to get to the lead. He takes them 3 wide now for second position. Thank you for the follow, Leroy Racing, or Elroy Racing. As they will almost come down onto the 16. Safe Fair has brought it to the low line. It looked like Kevin Cornelius thought about bringing it down there, and that would have been disastrous right at the front of the pack, but they link back up on the high side. Zach Smith, Timmy Emanuele now pushing them down the back straightaway, and quite a few drivers shifting lanes. Now those two able to clear the 16 in 3 and 4. Thank you so much for all the likes, everyone, or the follows, rather. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Getting closer and closer to our goal of 500 here on the channel, and you guys are the ones that make it possible each and every week. But look at this at the front. Seth Ferris trying to get some air to his teammate, and Kevin Cornelius, the 17 winning stage number 1, and Team Red Speed. It's 2 drivers in the race tonight. Up here, 1-2. Behind them, Nick Gardner, Brett Sommers, Joey Mines. All those drivers needing wins to get into the playoffs at this point. But told you that 16 might be a contender here. The 7 car, Brett Sommers having a very good night. You see the 22 of TJ Brendel up here in the top 10 as well. And that is the nature of these plate races, or these super speedways rather. You've got drivers who maybe aren't as competitive as some of the other racetracks, but might be experts at this type of racing with the drafting and making moves, aggressive moves. As look at that big push from the 39 of Timmy Emanuele, trying to line up the bumpers here with the 1 of Zach Smith. They nearly took the lead there, but big push from Cornelius, Kevin Cornelius, to Seth Ferris. Down on the inside line. That lane still the king right now, but that high line starting to get more organized. Here comes a big push from the 39 to the 1, but Seth Ferris will lead at the line. Let's take a look a little farther back in the pack. See the 80 of Dennis Faircloth actually jumping up there to the 3rd lane, but he is going to get hung out there all by himself. And Mark Emerson will sneak to the inside of him, so 3 wide. Kyle Payne in the 68, the 32 of Mark Emerson, and the 80 of Faircloth. Justin Carey got shuffled back here in all the mess, but did earn points in stage 1, much needed for that driver. In a new paint scheme on that one. Outlaw Desert Racing and a Bruzy racewear. They make some great, I believe, gloves and shoes. A lot of sim racers use. Look at the 80 of Faircloth once again going 3 wide. He's just trying to make it interesting for us up here in the Camping World Chevy Camaro. And he'll get a nice run alongside. Nearly was going to be 4 wide right there. And he thinks better of it. He'll drop back in line, I think, behind the 21 car. But Seth Ferris is still controlling this race. We've seen the 44 do this at these racetracks. He'll get to the front, and he won't relinquish that lead. But right now, support from his teammate and Nick Gardner as well in that 16. And Brett Sommers down there as well. But those front 3 in the inside lane have really worked well together here in this stage. And controlling this race, but the outside now getting a little bit squirrely, and also trying to find some speed, some big pushes happening as we're halfway through stage number 2. Still 2 wide, pretty deep in the field. Really the first example of single file racing is Chris Simard, Keith Maotto, and Ryan Gemmell, the 3 V-Speed Camaros that are all pretty well beat up. Team V-Speed not having the night that they would like here tonight. Brandon Vasquez also kind of in this group with them. Then Eric Gallion, Seth Hatchell back here with Nathaniel Ostrowski. Seth somewhat up to speed now, but still about 10 miles off pace, or miles per hour off pace, but he won't go a lap down here in this stage. And the 41 car looking for a way to get back on the lead lap, so he needs as much help as he can get. And I think those two pretty well competitive in terms of their speeds to one another. But it is getting really snaky up here at the front. Cars starting to wiggle and starting to have a hard time lining up the bumpers. You see Dallas Sullivan get shoved out to the 3rd lane. That's the 13 of Jordan Shepler behind him. As the fans cheering here as the field flies past out of turn number 4. It is still safe fair as Kevin Cornelius and Nick Gardner down low. Zach Smith leading the outside line. The 39 of Timmy Emanuele, the 22 of Brendel, the 20 of Joey Mines, 32 of Mark Emerson up there on the high line. Almost like an entire flip-flop of what we saw in stage number 1 in terms of the running order. And Nick Gardner out here on 22 laps of fuel and tires. I hope he can make it, because if not, it's going to be really a bad strategy move to have stayed out. Brett Somers also on that strategy. Joey Mines on that strategy. Those are the only 3 with that many laps. A couple drivers with around 19 or 20, but not as many as those 3. But really no idea how this is going to go from this point. Really very different than we expected the race to, happen. A lot of weird instances tonight. Welcome, Blaze of Pete. Thanks for joining us. It's been a very strange race. We'll do a quick recap, actually, while these guys are racing it up here 2 wide. 3 cautions, all in the first stage. We're in stage number 2. We've had 10 lead changes, and right now Safe Fair is in control. That 44 Team Red Speed machine. And his teammate right there behind him, Kevin Cornelius, winner of stage number 1 for Team Red Speed. Thank you for the gifted sub from Kibo Fat 47 to Joey Mines. I'm sure he'll love that, riding in the top 10 right now. And he'll get a nice gifted subscription. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel like you have. Really, really appreciate that. Is out here in front, the top 3 on the inside line have been able to control it, and Brett Somers even trying to pull single file here, but behind them Josiah Vincent, Eric Hutton. Wait for those 2 to make some moves here towards the end of the stage. Josiah winning on one of these super speedways, but you can see he's starting to get a little bit loose in that race car as we'll go on board with him. They're going to go 3 wide with Tony Baird, who's well off the pace, and going to go a second lap down here. Or actually, that's just his first lap down. But on board right now with Josiah Vincent. Right now in the top 10 behind the Boston Web Marketing Machine, Brett Somers, who was the birthday boy last week. You can see the car right there, though. I mean, barely any steering input. And Josiah a little bit squirrely headed into the corner, so that could really be a factor here. He's got 16 laps on the tires. And almost all these drivers have at least that many. Some with more than that even. Up here at the front, these 2, 16 laps on their tires. And Nick Gardner almost looking like he was going to jump to the high lane. It might be a good opportunity with where the 1 car of Zach Smith is, but still maybe too many laps remaining. Here comes the 1 to the outside, so might have missed the opportunity if he wanted to make it happen. But getting more organized up there in the high lane and getting closer and closer to 5 laps to go. We've got 21 cars up here in contention, and Dennis Steele, the last one here in this group. Back here with Dallas Sullivan. They're a little bit behind the main pack. Chris Simard, the next one. In this 3-car pack, the V-Speed machines all damaged for various instances or incidents in this race. But it is starting to get a bit more dicey up here. The 1 of Zach Smith getting some big pushes from the 39 of Emanuele. And they're getting a little bit wiggly down low there among the Red Speed teammates. And it will be 5 to go to the stage next time by. And they are starting to close in on some lap traffic. Who is that up there in front of them? Nick Alves and Alan Dice, both of those drivers with pretty decent damage from the last wreck. And both of these drivers really did need the points tonight. I think Alan is on the inside. He's 15th coming into the race, but right now 30th on track. And not going to be helping out his situation. Nick Alves came into the race 24th in points. And right now 31st right there behind him. They're in danger of going a lap down here within the next lap or so. And the battle for the lead getting hotter and hotter as the one car of Zach Smith starting to creep forward on that outside lane. Got 6 cars up there in that lane, and they're going to be 3 wide here for a little bit, so this could get interesting, especially if anyone doesn't know that they're 3 wide. You see the 16 drift up the racetrack just a little bit, and so far so good as they clear the lap machines now of Alan Dice and Nick Alves. No problem at all, but they got a little bit staggered up there in the high lane, and that could really hurt their momentum. They'll have to reorganize a bit. There goes Hutton to the high side. He saw his opportunity to jump out there, and he will take over the 4th car in line alongside Josiah Vincent. I would not be surprised if somehow Josiah gets up there with him, or maybe Mark Emerson, who's now snuck up into the top 10. And I would not be surprised to see those 3 drivers try and make a run for it, as looks like maybe the 17 getting a little bit hot up here. A little bit of right front nose damage on that car. Not too bad, but you never know how much that can affect the cooling system and the airflow to the engines of these race cars. The one car of Zach Smith starting to pull alongside for 2nd position, but Safe Fair is still in control, but he's got to start feeling that pressure from the outside lane. We are closing in. It'll be 2 to go next time by. Things really heating up. As there's the 4 car. He's going to take it 3 wide. That is Josiah Vincent. He'll jump to the middle lane and try and make it happen. Here goes Mark Emerson with him. Mark almost making contact with Eric Hutton. That was close call. There goes TJ Brendel off the nose of the 32. The 22 up into the wall, trying to hang on to it, and they are going to spin and wreck behind them. So that is going to end stage number 2. And I think Safe Fair is going to win the stage here. So however they get back to the start-finish line is how it was when the caution fell. Stage results coming early for stage number 2 as they wreck. Safe Fair is winning the stage, so Team Red Speed sweeping the stage as Kevin Cornelius finishes 2nd in this one. And then Josiah Vincent, Zach Smith, Nick Gardner, Brett Sommers, Mark Emerson, Timmy Emanuele, Dennis Faircloth, and Justin Carey. But I think maybe even a couple of those drivers somewhat involved in this one. As we saw the 22 of TJ Brendel go around. And that car pretty well beat up. Let's go take a look at what happened here to TJ and the rest of the field. So this is how it looked as they got onto the back straightaway. You see TJ there in the Cheetos machine, then the 4 car of Josiah Vincent taking it 3 wide. The 32 of Mark Emerson trying to follow him through. The 22, I'm not exactly sure. 22 was kind of in line, I think. We'll have to go on to, oh, but Eric Hutton, a huge hit. The 70, a huge hit. The 9 of Jeremiah Vincent just sneaking past that one, I think. Let's see what happened here. A little tag on the right side, and then the 68 of Kyle Payne there in front of him. He was able to avoid that. Thought I saw some more hits farther back, possibly. Jordan Shepler involved in this one. He got hit by the 20, the 68, and that's what sent him around as he tried to power through that wreck. And Cody Adkins, once again, involved in this one. Oh, and that was the hit there. The 24 of Nick Alves just didn't hit the brakes. You see the wreck up there. Car's smoking and spinning and doesn't lift until way too late. You see the 28 of Dennis Steele right there in front of him, and oh my gosh. 5-10 seconds after the wreck has occurred, he is plowing into it. Not what you want to see from a driver out there on the racetrack. Eric Lambert lightly involved in this one, I think. He gets a little tag there from the 77, and then pow, the 24 just piles in. B-Speed Camaros behind all that. They're able to avoid it, but big hits for a lot of drivers, and that was a rough one. And once again, right around the end of the stage, we have another yellow flag, but I'm going to see if we can jump on board maybe Zach Smith, or we'll see if we can talk with Zach here. There he is. Zach Smith, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy? Oh. Hey, Zach, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Adam. How you doing today?
Not too bad. Zach, we saw you made it through all the chaos so far, and right here around halfway, you're up in the top 10. You earned some stage points. How's the car feeling for you, and you know, what are you going to do here in the second half of the race?
The car's feeling pretty quick. My teammate Timmy was trying to push me up to the lead there, but he was just getting hot real fast, so we don't know if it's the new set or what. But the car's feeling fast. Just going to take my time and work my way back up the field. Hopefully talk to you at the end of the race. Yeah, you guys were holding strong up there in the high lane, and it was definitely impressive. You know, you weren't all that synced up behind you two up there, but some big runs definitely down the backstretch. And, you know, in stage one, we saw you get on the apron a couple times. Is the car pretty loose out there with the high track temps as the tires wear? Not really. It just seemed like there was a lot of checking up on the inside lane early on for whatever reason.
Yeah, that does make sense. We saw quite a few instances of that, but looks like you'll be restarting up here in the third position. So halfway down, halfway to go. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it, Adam.
All right, and that is Zach Smith, the number 1 car. Let's see, I got to figure out where he was. I think down here. Hope he was in there. In the Loaded Dice Racing server, we'll see. I think those guys are affiliate or alliance teams, but right now Zach having a pretty solid run up here. Able to avoid all the chaos, but Mark Emerson will inherit the race lead. A short pit stop, probably just 2 tires and fuel. After being involved in that one, wasn't exactly sure who caused it. It looked like kind of coming together, the 22 and the 32. And halfway recap, 4 cautions, 12 lead changes. Winner of stage number 1 was Kevin Cornelius. He'll restart in 21st position. And winner of stage number 2, Safe Fares, he will restart. Looks like maybe a speeding penalty, or I'm not sure. He had a second pit stop here to top off on fuel, maybe to ensure he can make it on one more stop. He'll restart outside the top 20 as well. So interesting for those two to come from the rear here. We'll see if they can make it back up towards the front, and Team Red Speed could sweep the race. But right now it is LDR's racing Mark Emerson, who's got 2 victories this season, and Josiah Vincent, who's been up here in the mix pretty much most of the race as well. But waiting for that green flag to fly and get back underway. And Mark Emerson, green flag in the air, he will lead the field. back down into turn number 1. And once again, the Viking City Motorsports 250 back in action here from Talladega Super Speedway. Race number 8, the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Oh, close call right there, as it looked like the one of Zach Smith tried to get in line straight away, but that hole closed up. Justin Carey was there. And oh, now the 39 jumping to the outside. They're going to go 3 wide for the race lead straight off the bat. And Timmy Emanuele all by himself, no help really there. But every lane pretty well checked up. Here comes the one of Zach Smith to the back bumper, and Timmy's going to get the lead all on his own. They weren't very well synced up down low, but things getting a little bit crazy here at the start of stage number 3. And this one straight to the end of the race. No other stage breaks left in this one. Timmy Emanuele will be your race leader up there on the high side. Now Zach Smith back in control of the second lane, but he's not going to have a lot of a supporting cast up there. And he's going to drop right in between the VMS machine and LDR machines of Mark Emerson and Josiah Vincent. And they are really all over that apron, as here goes the 4 car to the outside, now back to the inside. The 21 of Justin Carey now hung out to dry, and he will slot back in line in front of Dennis Steele. And very impressive that Dennis is still up in here with the nose damage on that car. And we saw Dallas Sullivan. He was up there in the 3rd lane all by himself. And he's still up there pretty much, just I think maybe dropping to the rear, maybe trying to pick up a couple people. Here comes Safe Ferris, Keith Mayato, and the 17 of Kevin Cornelius. Those 3 nose to tail trying to work towards the front as they climb into the top 20. You also see Chris Samard right there as well. Ryan Gemmell also in the mix. They put the nose back on that race car, and it looks like he's got most of the speed back in it. But maybe still a little bit off the pace. He's not really able to suck up to cars in front as far as I can tell, and might not work out to have him leading this group of race cars. But either way, they're going to try and get back up here into the fight. And they're kind of the second group here. And it's this main group being led by Timmy Emanuele. They've all gone single file. And running the lower line here. Saw this happen the other night in the Virtual Racing League, where they all eventually went single file. It was a little earlier in the race than this. But how about this Seth Hatchell, who had all that damage? He's up here in 11th position. And that car pretty close up to speed. He's not really, again, able to suck up to the cars in front of him, but maybe with some drafting help around him, he would be able to stay up in the mix here. Might be hard to win the race, but can at least provide some support and keep things interesting. As back here, winner of stage number 2, Safe Ferris, climbs into the top 15. He'll make the pass on the outside of Eric Lambert. And then Keith Mayato there as well. And Kevin Cornelius, so it looks like the 6 machine of Ryan Gemmell elects to drop to the inside here, maybe understanding that that car is not really at full force and might not make sense to lead the pack, but he'll try and find a spot in the group here. The 41 of Ostrowski to the apron. He'll let the field by. And look at this behind him, Nick Gardner, who's up there in the mix. He is 19th, and he is trying to rally the troops, and right now 3 wide. That is not the way to do it. But Robert Gilmore in the middle lane, he'll drop in front of his teammate there at Simulators Anonymous, Eric Lambert. Jeff Razor cheering on Brett Sommers, and right now Brett in the 19th position. You see him on screen right there with Nick Gardner. Those two about 2.8 seconds back of your leader. They'll have to get up into the draft here soon, as the second lane is starting to develop. You see the 9 of Jeremiah Vincent has jumped out there. And Chris Samard and Safe Fair is now starting to head towards the front. They climb into the top 10 now. Making the pass on Eric Gallion there on the inside. And right now Jeremiah scored a 7th position, but they are starting to make up some ground. The inside lane a bit stagnant right now. pacing at around 195 miles an hour. And now Dennis Faircloth jumps to the outside, and he's going to get taken 3 wide. Jeremiah Vincent moving to the 3rd lane. And nobody's going to go with him. So Jeremiah hung out to dry. He'll be able to find a spot in line here, I think, pretty shortly. He'll drop in behind Kevin Cornelius and Keith Mayato right there. Zach Smith now jumping to the outside lane. He says, I'm sick of running down there in 3rd. I want to take the lead away. And resumes his position out there in the 3rd lane. And he will take the lead away, actually, with a big push from Dennis Faircloth at the line there. He is your race leader. Timmy Emanuele down there. Those two were working together there at the end of stage 2, and right now racing up against each other, but controlling this race as they're both leading their respective lines. The 80 car of Dennis Faircloth, huge push down into turn number 3. He's going to actually jump to the 3rd lane. Nope, he'll drop back in line. Just trying to get a peek of where he's going. Sometimes it's hard to see out of these cars when you're right up on the back bumper. This is what his view looks like. Really can't see a whole lot here. You can kind of hear the cars struggling for grip, actually. As they work down the back straightaway here. Seems like they are starting to struggle a little bit for grip as they go into the turns. And Dennis going to jump out to the 3rd lane. And not sure what he saw there. Maybe just doesn't want to be up in the mix just yet. Still quite a ways to go in this one. It'll be 40 laps remaining as they come back to the start-finish line this time. Timmy Emanuele, your race leader, out in front of Mark Emerson and Zach Smith. Chris Samard now up to 4th, and he's brought Alliance teammates from Team Red Speed along with him, as well as his teammate Keith Mayato. They're up in the mix right now. And Seth Hatchell up here in this lead group as well. He's got to be very thankful that that car is still hanging tough. Also Ryan Gemmell, he's got probably the most damage of anyone. And so far we do have 25 left on the lead lap. A few cars going to be in danger of going a lap down here in probably about 3-4 laps, but 25 currently on the lead lap. First car 1 lap down, Nathaniel Ostrowski, who's back here in this pack of lead lap cars. Tony Baird, Cody Adkins also 1 lap down, and they are right here as well, racing for that lucky dog spot. Then Joey Mines, TJ Brendel, Eric Hutton, multiple laps down. Eric still on the pit lane, along with his teammate AJ Stravato. Both of them have had extended stays and 13 or more laps down. 3 cars are out of the race, and Kyle Payne, Nick Alves, and Dylan Teal. That's kind of where we're at right now. But Zach Smith, big moves on the outside with help from Chris Samard. As they're coming up towards the lap machine of TJ Brendel. He'll probably hang tough out there in that 3rd lane. He will stay up there. We'll see how the field makes their way through. Josiah Vincent a little bit high on the turn entry there. Almost got up into the 1 car as they were trying to avoid the 22. But 5 cars up high, 6 cars down low. And right now the low line, definitely the dominant place to be. But they are starting to get organized up there. Seems like out of turn 4, they really pull back alongside. They just lose a lot of steam up to that point. But here comes Zach Smith with a big run now, a little bit high up the racetrack here. Kind of an interesting way to take the tri-oval. It'll be Timmy Emanuele at the line but nearly a dead heat down in turn number 1, so don't count anybody out of this yet, and they still have to make at least one more pit stop. I think it'll be very close as well on fuel for some of these drivers. As next cars to go a lap down, you see off in the distance there, Lyle Sulfridge and Jordan Shepler, both 41 seconds off your leader. So that's only about 7 seconds out in front. And then a couple more cars, Alan Dice, Lane Sulfridge, 31 seconds off your leader. So they'll be, they're about 4 seconds off the pace, maybe more. Things pretty well stabilized up here at the front, but the battling is not done yet. Everybody's going to have to figure out where they need to get in line when they need to make the next pit stop, which will probably come in about 10 laps. Maybe a little more than that, 10 to 15 laps. And if they do go any more than 10, they'll probably be good the rest of the way. These drivers that have been out in front, the one in the 39, are going to have the most trouble making it because they've been out in the most air and the most air resistance on those race cars. And they'll be closing in on the lap machines. Jordan Shepler back here. Got no rear end, and then the 70 car, no front end, but he's got the back bumper cover on. So nice little combination there. They're still heading around this place at 185 miles an hour, if you can believe it. But that is the pack off in the distance there. You see him right at the edge of the screen. And they are too wide, so those guys are either going to have to hit the apron or they're going to have to go up to the third lane, and that can always be dangerous. Closing at such a high rate of speed, over 10 miles an hour faster. As these guys kind of looking up there in the third lane, that's an interesting way to go. If you're coming up on lap cars that are up in the third lane, maybe trying to pull some draft there, actually. That may be what they were trying to do. As they're going to pass up the lap machines. They catch them in a pretty solid position, but down towards turn number 3, hopefully they're fully clear, and I think they will be, as that does appear to be the case. Keith Mayato able to pass those guys up as the last car in the top lane. Right now in the 10th position. And can't forget Keith and Chris Samard, both of those V-Speed drivers involved in the one restart incident where they checked up behind the 13, and lots of other cars involved in that one. Very interesting wreck after the restart, but both of those guys up here in the mix. Quite a few of the drivers involved in that one actually up here in the mix. And it is Timmy Emanuele leading some laps. Let's do a quick rundown of the field as they race it up out here. Timmy has led 14 laps in this race. Actually just gets passed up for the race lead as Zach Smith has led a couple. Chris Samard in third right now, started 14th, hasn't made it to the front. Mark Emerson leads, he's led 1 lap here tonight. Safe Ferris led 25, winner of stage number 2. Josiah Vincent has led a lap here in this race. Kevin Cornelius has led a couple. He won stage number 1. Justin Carey right now in 8th position. Keith Mayato has led a lap as well, up to 9th. Jeremiah Vincent in the back of the top 10 here, 9th or 10th position as they kind of switch it up. Eric Gallion up around 20 spots. He's racing up with Dennis Faircloth. Neither of those drivers have led a lap to this point. Eric Gallion, 12th position. Brandon Vasquez, 13th. Seth Hatchell a little bit behind them in 14th. He's led 1 lap here tonight. Got involved early in that wreck on the backstretch with no caution being thrown. Was a lap down at one point, but Nick Gardner, he's led 4 laps here in 15th position right now. Brett Sommers up to 16th. Ryan Gemmell has been able to recover after being involved after the stage 1 finish wreck. 17th position. Robert Gilmore 18th, and Dennis Steele in the 19th position. That's kind of everybody up here within striking distance. Dallas Sullivan about 16 seconds back. He's up 13 spots. Eric Lambert up 9 spots. And those two, the last ones on the lead lap. Behind them, Alan Dice getting put a lap down right now. Right around where he started. Lane Sulfridge also around where he started, another lap down. Jordan Shepler, 24th. And Lyle Sulfridge, 25th. Tony Baird, 26th. Cody Adkins, 27th. Nathaniel Ostrowski in the 28th spot. All those drivers 1 lap down. About a third of a lap down on top of that, but definitely keeping speed. Joey Mines, 29th, 3 laps down. TJ Brendel, 30th, 3 laps down. Eric Hutton parked on pit road. He's probably done for the night. 22 laps down in 31st, leading 10 laps here, and also earning some stage points, so that will help ease the pain of not finishing the night. But right now, going back and forth. Welcome, CJ. 2121. Thanks for tuning in, and let's race. They are racing it up out here for sure. This is the Viking City Motorsports 250 for the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series right now. The lead being swapped back and forth between Timmy Emanuele and Zach Smith. See the 32 of Mark Emerson also up here in the mix. Josiah Vincent up here, Chris Samard. Safe Ferris, Kevin Cornelius, the 2-stage winners up here on the outside line. Trying to pull off the Team Red Speed sweep. They've led over a quarter of the race combined, so definitely strong performance by both drivers. And Kevin earning a lot of points, much needed in this race, winning the stage and also finishing second in the stages. Look at this, they take the 1 car of Zach Smith 3 wide now. The V-Speed and Red Speed cars going to the outside. And Zach left to fend for his position here in the middle. And there is a gap on the inside. He may elect to take that. But that's starting to close up as the 21 of Justin Carey comes to the back bumper, and he will drop in line there. And they're going to take it 3 wide with the 22 of TJ Brendel, who's going to get passed up very easily. Now look at this run from Chris Samard up to the point with a big help there from Safe Ferris. They don't elect to pull to the inside. Here comes Timmy Emanuele with the run back down low. And none of these drivers on the outside, and actually only one driver really up here in contention to win this race has won a race, and that is Mark Emerson with 2 race wins. Next closest winner in tonight's field is Seth Hatchell in 14th with some significant damage. Probably not going to end up taking the checkered flag tonight. Crazier things have happened though. And the other race winner this season, AJ Stravato, he's out of it in 34th, so going to be a big hit for him. After getting caught up in the wreck at the end of stage number 1, he towed it to pit lane and called it a night right there. Look at this, Kevin Cornelius getting a big push from Keith Mayato. They'll leapfrog Chris Samard and Safe Ferris and start the cycle of lead changes, and everybody's starting to figure things out. We do see pit stops happening. Dennis Steele on pit lane. Also Joey Mines bringing it down, trying to get a good view of that race car that is pretty well beat up. And they should be bringing it down within the next 2 or 3 laps, I would think. And right now, Kevin Cornelius, winner of stage 1, leading the field once again. Keith Mayato in 2nd, Safe Ferris 3rd. On the outside line, Jeremiah Vincent with some help from Timmy Emanuele. That's a little bit of a difference there. Saw Jeremiah get cycled out early in this run and has cycled back to the front. Here comes Safe, as well as Chris Samard, Kevin Cornelius, Keith Mayato, very organized getting on the pit lane, it appears. You see the 33 of Eric Gallion as well, the 80 of Faircloth, the 23 of Vasquez, all of those drivers pulling into the pit lane. Oh, and the 33 having to back up, that might be a costly mistake. We'll see. That's not a great camera angle. How it all works out for them, but it'll be right around 25 to go to the end of the race, and that's just about how far they went on this run. And right now, the top 13 still on the racetrack, and a few others still out there yet to pit. These guys may bring it in this time, or maybe go another lap. Nobody bringing it in this time. As back here in this kind of second group, you see the V-Speed Camaros of Ryan Gemmell, Seth Hatchell, and Brett Sommers up here right now in the top 10 with Nick Gardner. As these other drivers making their way off of pit lane onto the back straightaway. Looks like Keith Mayato, the winner of that battle, and pretty well out in front. They're going to have to get synced back up here as the 80 of Faircloth about 5-6 car lengths back, maybe more. And this group of 4 cars will be fairly close together, but Eric Gallion and Brandon Vasquez well off in the distance. That pit stop mistake didn't end up costing Eric as much as maybe would have thought, but look at this group of 4 race cars up here. They're going to start to get single filed back out and maybe start to make some good lap time as the leaders all piling into pit road. And that is a big gaggle of cars as they're going to have to figure out how to get in their stalls cleanly. And that was a close call between Timmy Emanuele and Mark Emerson. Zach Smith into the box, overshoots it, I think. Yes, he does, and that is going to be a common mistake here. As around goes Dallas Sullivan, leading a lap now with Eric Lambert. Those two, the last ones to pit. So they have yet to bring it down, and Seth Hatchell will win the battle off pit lane. 2-tire pit stop for both he and Mark Emerson. But where is this next group of race cars here? They are already caught up, so this could work out very well for these drivers. They'll have to pull away, and they might be able to do so. We'll see what the draft ends up looking like, but Mark Emerson might be able to grab onto the tail as he kind of drifted up the racetrack and forced those guys wide. 2 groups of 2 here, and then smaller groups behind. And some of these guys not with the most efficient pit stops. Gonna have some trouble keeping up with the draft here. But Nick Gardner, Seth Hatchell right now 10th and 11th. And a little ways off your race leader. But Dallas Sullivan and Eric Lambert still have yet to pit. They've gone 30 laps on this run. And they're currently 14 seconds up the road from the race leaders with this group of lap cars. And I would expect quite a few of these guys, maybe it's this time they all come down pit lane. The 41 bringing it down low. Almost an incident right there, as they will not bring it to pit road just yet. So Eric Lambert will take over the race lead for the moment. And car blown up on pit road. Not sure who that is, but back a little farther, these cars have all started to group back up, and Chris Samard leading this pack. Not sure what happened to Kevin Cornelius. Oh, a speeding penalty for the 17. And you can see right there behind him his teammates. So he will be a lap down right now. Last car 1 lap down, actually. He'll get back on the lead lap once these top 2 bring it down pit road, but when is that going to happen? They've been out here for over 30 laps. And they can't possibly make it to the end. It's impossible for sure. But look at Dennis Faircloth leading the outside lane. You see Mark Emerson here as well, trying to take him 3 wide maybe. Still 20 laps remaining in this event. And this is a very interesting Hail Mary from these two. Trying to get a caution or something, I think. And hope that they can hang on to the track position. But right now they are losing time hand over fist to the what will be net leaders of this. and the 3 car looks like he's going to bring it in here. The 46 of Dallas Sullivan also coming down, and a few more. Cody Adkins, Jordan Shapler, and the 70 machine of Lyle Sulfridge, but that will let Chris Samard take over the race lead. Kevin Cornelius will go 1 lap down. He will be scored as the first car 1 lap down, I think, at this point. That is definitely the case. The 13 of Jordan Shepler, second car 1 lap down, is on pit road. So if a caution does break out, Kevin in a good spot here to take advantage, and currently scored in 25th spot. He'll gain another one with Tony Baird, who will... Tony Baird and a few more who will inevitably go 1 lap down, having yet to pit. But everybody's single file now, and the 80 of Faircloth gets shuffled out. He'll drop to the tail of this line, and that's actually not very far back. That's just 10th position. Only 10 cars up here in this lead group. See Mark Emerson looking to the outside of Kevin Cornelius. That's not 4th position, Kevin being that lap down. Jeremiah Vincent right there as well. And they're going to put a lap on, I think that's Jordan Shepler. It is. And a few other race cars up there getting back up to speed. Cody Adkins among them. And let's look at the second group of race cars led by Zach Smith, who had a little bit of a longer stop. Brandon Vasquez there with him. Eric Gallion, Timmy Emanuele, Ryan Gemmell, Seth Hatchell. That group of cars, just 6 race cars back here, and a lot of them with damage. A few of them without damage, though. That's the 39 and the 1. They're pretty clean race cars. I think the 33 might be as well. Because here comes Mark Emerson. Jeremiah Vincent, Josiah Vincent behind him, giving him a big push in that outside lane. Samard out in front of the low line. Safe Ferris, Keith Mayato, Kevin Cornelius, Nick Gardner. Josiah Vincent now drops to the inside. Justin Carey to the outside. Brett Sommers up here in that 10th position, having a good race as well. Let's take a look from his nose cam. This is the lead pack in front of him. He's got to be careful not to let them get too far away from him. Ooh, he almost drifts up into Joey Mines. Not sure what that was. But he's going to lose a little bit of ground from that. And you can't be too careful back here. Don't want to see him lose the draft. I mean, he's got a clean race car. He's just got to stay to the back bumper of Nick Gardner, and he's got to stay in line with him, which looks like they're checking up right now up there in the lead pack, so he is all good. Chris Samard leading down low. They're going to go 3 wide with Dennis Steele, who's heavily damaged, and will go, I believe, a 2nd lap down. That is maybe his 1st lap down. Going to try and catch on to the tail end of this draft as well. But he will be the 2nd lap car. Kevin Cornelius still in the lucky dog spot, but he's right in the heart of the action too, so if something happens, it's very likely he would be involved in it, so got to be very careful to avoid contact if a wreck does break out. But the 37 of Chris Samard getting a good push from Safe Ferris. 15 laps to go. We're going to go to a quick side-by-side commercial break as these guys try and settle it out here and close in on 10 laps remaining.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing and specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between 1st and 2nd going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey. V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/vspeedsim.
And heartbreaker for Safe Fair's engine expires on that race car as they were pushing down the backstretch, and that allows the 32 of Mark Emerson to take away the lead. Going to shuffle Chris Samard back to 5th position, and now the VMS teammates as well as the LDR driver and Mark Emerson in pretty good position here. But still 2 V-Speed Camaros and the Red Speed driver and Kevin Cornelius. Kevin being a lap down, still probably going to provide support to the Alliance team, and they will go 3 wide as it goes up to lap number 90 on the pylon. But heartbreaker for Safe Fair's winner of stage number 2. Not going to be able to get that first win of the season here tonight. Capturing, though, another stage victory and some good points in tonight's race. Mark Emerson leading down low. Here comes Samard with the push from his teammate up high. Got to be very careful in that 3rd lane. But these two very familiar with each other, been racing around them for years. Or racing around one another for years. And look at this, 3 wide through the tri-oval and headed towards the start-finish line. Josiah Vincent with the advantage at the start-finish line. Here comes the 37 of Samard up high, though. And the inside lane starting to fade a little bit. 4-car drifts up a little bit high. And we'll see how long they keep this up here on the 3rd lane. I think there's some lap cars not too far out in front. But we did see kind of a merging of packs. You've got a lot of lap cars in this group. Multiple laps down, actually. The 2-car, or rather the 57 car, thought was included in that pack. Maybe not. Maybe they didn't catch up with the lead pack. Did I just see Keith Maiato? His engine's blown up too. So Maiato not going to get that race win. And Chris Samard rapidly losing support up here in that lead pack. But Mark Emerson to the point. Dennis Faircloth right there in his wake. And a 16 of Nick Gardner. What a win it would be for Nick if he could get to the front here. And under 10 laps to go, he's in position. But heartbreaker for Keith Maiato, who had run a really good race to that point to get back up towards the front. And they are navigating around lap cars who are inside and outside. Smoke on the track from the blown engines. They seemingly navigate the lap cars here. And yeah, this has changed drastically here over the last few laps. While we cut to commercial break, things really kind of fell apart for the Team Red Speed and V-Speed drivers. And now we have just 8 cars up here in this lead group, intermixed with some lap machines. You see Dallas Sullivan there. 57 of Alan Dice also up here. He's 2 laps down, but in the mix. Kevin Cornelius is a little bit farther back, and they're 3 wide. Nick Gardner gets shuffled out. And Laps clicking down. It's the VMS teammates up high. The 21 of Justin Carey up here in the mix as well. Dennis Faircloth giving a big push to the 32. He's got to watch that engine temp. We've seen 2 cars blow up here in the last 5 laps, and this is not the time to do that. You'll get a much worse finish than where you're set to finish as you run. But it could be very possible that the 2 cars up high end up pushing too hard. Anything can happen. There could still be an accident among these top 10 or so. And it is very tough to say how things will go. Mark Emerson, though, looking for victory number 3 this season. car Joey Mines off the pace up high. They'll put another lap on him. And here comes Jeremiah Vincent. Didn't win last year, but did make the final 4, and this would lock him into the playoffs. Currently in the top 16, or right around the barrier of entry. Josiah, as we've mentioned, he's missed a couple races, but this would lock him in as well. 2-time winner last season at one of them at one of these tracks. Actually, I think both of them might have been at these tracks. But right now, 2-time winner Mark Emerson out in front on the low line. Here's Dennis Faircloth trying to get some air to the nose of that race car. And Brett Somers right there in line as well. Nick Gardner's collected it back up. He's 4th in line in the low side. Justin Carey, Chris Samard, Kevin Cornelius back up in here. So now Samard with a little bit of drafting help. So we've got a few teams at work in this group. Probably quite a bit of coordination going on amongst these drivers. But the VMS teammates up there on the high side controlling that lane for the moment. Justin Carey kind of all by himself here in the mix. I'm not sure. Let me see who he is working with. None of his teammates up here in the mix. Dennis Faircloth all by himself as well. Brett Somers with Nick Gardner. Those two actually could be working together. The Basic Joe's Racing Alliance. So we got 2 down there on the inside. Two on the outside, although you kind of throw Mark Emerson in that group there. 3 cars somewhat teamed up. You've got the V-Speed Camaro of Chris Samard, Team Red Speed, and Kevin Cornelius grouped together. They're going to go 3 wide now, actually. Samard to the middle. That's going to cycle out the 21 of Justin Carey. Chris has to check up just a little bit for the 4 car. Thing I worry about, though, that 37 with some nose damage. Also the 17 with quite a bit of nose damage. But closing in on 3 laps to go. TJ Brendel going to go another lap down as they put that lap on him right here. But Jeremiah Vincent at the line, I think your race leader. And getting some good pushes, a little bit off the banking there for the 80 of Faircloth. And he's been given a long push. Big long push to the 32 of Emerson, and he's really got to watch those engine temps. It's crunch time now. You do have to start pushing pretty hard, but don't want to blow up on the last lap or last corner and end up bringing out a big one and getting a much worse finish than you'd want. Coming to 2 laps to go, they will have to start making moves if you're a little bit farther back in this group. It's going to be tough for a couple of them, though. The 7 and the 16, namely, kind of trapped down there on the inside. And right now, Chris Samard not really lined up to make any kind of a run. But he's going to have to try and find some way forward if he wants to get the victory. Brett Somers here, going to have to find somewhere to go. He's on the back bumper of Dennis Faircloth. And, yeah, I don't really know how this is going to shake out for all these guys. Big push from the 80 of Faircloth. He's going to try and get the 32 up there alongside the 9. And that's going to create a bit of a gap behind that may actually end up slowing them down. but the outside line not super well synced up. It's just the two VMS drivers as we are coming back to the white flag. It's going to be one of these guys here unless they all get wrecked out, and then it could be the second group 10 seconds back. Unlikely that's the case at the line right there. Mark Emerson, your race leader, but a big charge by Josiah Vincent. Here comes Dennis Faircloth, almost peaked 3 wide to the bottom side. And I don't think there's a yellow line rule. Oh, and Brett Somers gets knocked out of the way, able to keep it off the inside wall. What a save there, but meanwhile, up in the pack, here comes Chris Samard, Kevin Cornelius. They're going to make a charge in the third lane. Is it too little, too late? Are they going to have the run out of turn number 4? Mark Emerson down low. They're all going to wreck. Dennis Faircloth in the lead right now. Here comes Nick Gardner, the 16 machine. No challengers left. Nick Gardner, we said watch out for the 16 from the start of the night, and here he comes. Checkered flag. Nick Gardner is going to win at Talladega, and he's going to lock himself into the playoffs. Nick Gardner out of nowhere. He lost his partner there on the backstretch, and it didn't matter. The 32 of Emerson goes around, blown engine to end this thing. And let's see what happened here, actually. What a crazy finish. Oh my gosh, what a hit for the Vincent brothers there, both of them. As he gets the bumper of the 80, they get kind of off sync. Oh my gosh, Josiah Vincent flying through the air and tumbling end over end. Mark Emerson with the big collision there afterwards as well. Look at this wreck. Flying through the air into the catch fence. 20 or 30 feet off the ground. Oh my gosh, Brett Somers didn't even slow down. You don't slow down on the last lap, I guess, but look at that wreck from his perspective. This is incredible. Oh my gosh, what a hit. Josiah Vincent as well. He gets taken out in this one. Chris Samard able to limp that car back home with the top 10, but he gets collected in this after being up there in the third lane. And honestly, amazing that that car ended up driving off. He didn't even blow the engine in that. But able to bring it back in 9th, and that second group so far away. Look at this, Nick Gardner burning it down. He leads 5 laps after starting 6th. What an insane finish. I have not seen anything quite like that here on V-Speed. This is really a first for a crazy finish where so many get involved in the wreck there, and just a drag race. And Dennis Faircloth going to come up a little bit short, unfortunately, his second place run of the season. But man, what a finish. And you gotta give a big attaboy Nick Gardner. He was in the right place, the right time, and makes it through. That's a huge win that'll lock him into the playoffs. Very unexpected, but you know, kind of called it from the start. So we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the top 3 interviews.
Hey, honey.
It's happening. The baby's coming.
Okay, I'm on the way.
Hey, buddy. You ready for the big game?
You're gonna be there, right, Dad?
Pal, you can count on me. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Hey, honey, Josh's flight landed early. He'll be about 6:30. Can you make it?
Okay. I'm on my way.
We've got total gridlock out there this afternoon.
The average American spends over 40 hours a year, nearly 2 full days, stuck in traffic on our broken roads and bridges, while our lives move full speed ahead. It doesn't have to be this way.
Where is he?
Husband's on his way.
It's time for Washington to get America moving again by finally funding our country's infrastructure.
Where's Mom?
Tell Washington to fund America's infrastructure, because life won't wait.
Hey, honey.
It's happening. The baby's coming.
And after a crazy finish back at the racetrack, now we're going to be pulling up a race winner. Nick Gardner, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Well, Nick, I kind of picked you early in this event as kind of a black or a dark horse in this one, and I thought you might be a favorite to win, and ultimately you made it through that craziness at the end. It was really even hard to explain what happened there, and you just made it through. You come out, your car is clean as can be, and nobody in front of you. Explain the feeling of winning here tonight and locking yourself into the playoffs.
Dude, it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty stoked. First off, these races mean more to me than any other race because I love plate racing, and I appreciate you picking me to win. I'm really good at these things, and lately, like every plate track, I just haven't really had the luck. And tonight, I wanted to get a little bit of stage points and then kind of just see where it all played out at the end. Me and my teammate Brett hung in there. The whole race, just trying to work together there at the end, and we weren't going to make any crazy moves. Like, we just wanted to hang out, and he's like, man, you want to go to the outside? And I'm like, man, I don't know, because when wrecks happen, they normally happen, like, from the bottom up, and it's just a disaster. So I thought we were in a good spot on the bottom, and, of course, he had that unfortunate situation there on the backstretch on the final lap, so I believe it was the final lap. Yeah, so I just kept digging on the bottom. I wasn't going to move because every time there's a wreck on the final lap, normally like 8 times out of 10, I feel like the leader gets antsy, goes below the yellow line, and then like the second place guy doesn't check up. So that just causes the leader to take out second place and everyone else right there. So I just happened to be in the catbird seat and, be there when it counted.
Yeah, and it was definitely the right spot to be. The 32 kind of got hooked off the nose of the 80 car, and right there you were waiting in the wings to take it. And it was a pretty crazy race. We had a lot of cautions there in stage number 1, and then it was pretty clean for stage 2. We had the wreck coming towards the end of that stage, but you kind of explained your plan there. But what was really the way that you avoided all those incidents tonight?
Honestly, luck, because normally I am in those wrecks, especially the one at the end of stage 1 there. I went below the apron and barely missed it. I thought I was about to wreck because I thought the guys were going to come further down to the apron. So I luckily missed that one. Yeah, and there was a couple ones that I was just, man, I didn't even know what my game plan was going in tonight. I wanted to qualify well and stay up front. If I got hairy, go to the back. And then luckily that caution came out late in stage 1. So then me and my teammates just topped off, and then we were 1, 2, and 3 to start stage 2. So we were going to try to stay up there as much as possible. We fell back a little bit, got some stage points, and then yeah, and I knew it was going to come down to green flag stops and like how well you made it work and how many cars you left pit road in a group, because that matters. And I knew when Saif and all them guys pitted like way early, I knew they were going to be the guys like leading when green flag. So luckily I had some help. Luckily I had some help from my teammates. And Brett and also Justin. Justin worked with me too, and we all were able to catch up to that lead pack in stage 3. And man, I give everyone props. Right there at the end, we were all racing so close and not wrecking, and was able to stay green all the way to the final lap. That was really great racing.
Yeah, definitely a lot of exciting moments in tonight's race. Dramatic moments happening, with the wreck after stage 1, but definitely a ton of fun here tonight. But congrats on the victory. We head to the Daytona road course, so completely different style of racing next week. But what are your thoughts on going out there?
All I gotta say is thank the good Lord above for. For this one right here, because that Daytona road course, normally in real life you would look for this number 16 being up front. Not when I'm behind the wheel. I'm like mediocre road course depending on where it's at. So I'll probably, now that I'm locked in, I'll probably just take my time and learn learn the course and do that because I love Daytona Road Course in the sports car IMSA cars there. Those, it's a blast, but these stock cars are a whole nother animal. It's just such a tough track to get around with these stock cars. So I'm definitely gonna take my time, learn, and hopefully move on. And looking forward to that just being over and moving on to the next one.
Yes, sir. And you coming into this race 25th in points. You do earn a lot of, a lot of points in general. So that would probably bump you up closer to the 20th position. But the win locks you in, and you're on your way to the playoffs here in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. So congrats again on the race win. You lead 5 laps on the way to victory. And anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, man. I just want to shout out to Nick, most importantly, for putting this whole deal on. And also my wife for actually letting me get on here and racing. That's the most important. But thank you, broadcasters, for putting this on. Also, the trucking company for sponsoring the league, and also Viking City for sponsoring this race. Appreciate them coming on board for this whole deal. But like I said, none of this is possible without Nick and all them guys that put in the hard work, putting this league on. It's a blast to be in, and I'm sure as heck glad that I was able to run full time this season.
Yeah, and it's definitely cool to see you here in Victory Lane. So congrats once again. Go celebrate with your team and friends, and we'll catch you next week at the road course in Daytona.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it a lot.
All right, thank you. And that was your race winner, Nick Gardner. Obviously extremely happy to take home the victory tonight. Let's see if we can pull up second place finisher, Dennis Faircloth. Dennis Faircloth, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, Dennis, second best, second time this season, but a great points night for you. And man, what a crazy finish there. You were right on the back bumper of the 32 going into turn number 4. And it looked like for a moment you might have, the opportunity to win this thing. But the 16 almost out of nowhere was able to get through clean. But give us a rundown of the race and your strategy throughout the night and, how you feel you did here.
Honestly, I was just trying to just make it to the end of the race, really. I didn't want a repeat of Daytona. Just wanted to get through the stages and not cause any trouble. Make it to the last pit stop and not lose the draft. So that's why I pitted with the V-Speed guys, because I know typically they kind of have the strategy down. So I just followed them and came out with them. And me and Mark got hooked up, came up back through the field. And he pushed me for a little bit, and I pushed him. I realized pretty quick that for some reason I wasn't able to really lead anything. Anytime I got in front, we were going to the back, so just kind of gave up on that, just trying to push people and things like that. So we just kind of, I guess me and Mark just decided to work together. I had no problems pushing him. I was fine with that. For some reason, my car would overheat quicker than I feel is normal. I don't know why I'd be at 270, and within halfway down the backstretch, I'm at 285, blinking red. I don't understand why it's doing that. But so he was running offset about a half lane up to give me room to keep my engine temps down, and I'd let him go down to about 265, so I knew I can get a good push down the backstretch to even back up with the Vincents. And last lap, go crossing the start finish line with a white flag. I'm already red, blinking. I know if I let off to try to get in the air, the whole inside line is just going to fall back. So I stay tucked in. I get a little bit of air through turns 1 and 2. Engine temp goes back down. Give him a good shove down the backstretch. I think I entered turn 3 with my engine temps probably at 291, 292. I hit Mark, kind of hit him wrong, I guess, moved him down the track, and then me letting off to try to react to that. I don't think I let off enough, but at the same time, I did let off. I think doing that, I got out of line, and then I hit him again, and then that's what caused the wreck. I feel like crap. I'm not trying to wreck people. That's the last thing I want to do. I'm not here to ruin anybody's race. I wanted a good finish, but at the same time, if I don't duck out and get engine temperature, I'm gonna blow up and then cause a wreck that way. So I don't know what else I could do. I mean, they can say I didn't let off all they want to say, but it's my foot that's on the pedal and it didn't stay planted. I can tell you that. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last lap at Talladega. You know, those types of things happen all the time, and you know, just mainly looked like an off-center bump, and you know, there's really not a whole lot you could do, even if you had lifted, you know, or hit the brakes. You probably still would have hit the back of the 32, and so I think you're stuck between a rock and a hard place there, and you know, you had a heck of a run down the back straightaway though, even with the engine temps, like you said, blinking red. And you come out of here with a nice strong finish. I would say nothing to feel bad about. You came into the race 11th in points, and you're going to get a really big bump here. I think maybe even up into the top 10 once again. And we go to another road course where you had your other really standout performance of the season. We go to Daytona next week for their road course. What are your thoughts on heading to another one of those?
I mean, I kind of look forward to it. I mean, I've ran some road course races since Road America, and I'm starting to think that was a fluke. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't really like the setup at Daytona because in real life, the Cup cars, they use a different gear than what iRacing is putting us in, and we hardly even reach fourth gear, I think. So it's kind of pointless. But I don't know. I'll try to put this week behind me. Like I said, I'm not too thrilled. I'm not happy with second place, not because I didn't win, it's because, you know, the mess I caused. I ain't nothing to really celebrate. So, but
yeah,
it's all good.
Definitely understandable, the kind of bittersweet feeling being at the middle of all that. You know, it was a good performance from you here tonight, though. So there's a lot to be happy about, I think. And you know, looking back at the broadcast, you may see it a little bit differently than maybe even in car, but. Yeah, second place here tonight after starting in 12th. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Just American Trucking Association, Illinois Trucking Association, and BTDY Podcast and Boston Web Marketing. Simulator Anonymous. I still can't say anonymous. I'm sorry. Chuck Hill Trucking. You guys at V-Speed. You for doing such a good job. One-man show commentating these races. I'm gonna have to find you a partner. I think I know a guy. So, but heck, I might join you if I keep getting caught up in stuff like this. So, but yeah, just glad these things put together every week, and yeah, just gonna move past this one and take it on the chin, I guess.
Yes, sir. I think you'll probably get over it here pretty quickly. Definitely a fun race, and you know, a lot to be proud of here. And don't hang your head too low on this. And I'm sure we'll see you back swinging next week. But congrats on second, and we'll catch you then.
Thanks so much, Adam.
All right. And that was second place finisher. A little bit bittersweet in the result there, but Justin Carey is going to be your third place finisher. In tonight's race. Let's see if we can pull him up into the booth here. Justin Carey, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Well, not too bad, and you're probably feeling pretty good yourself. You made it through the mess in turn 4 there. It looked like you weren't really going to have a shot at the win, you know, headed down into that final lap, but man, you were up there in the mix for a lot of this race, kind of what we're used to seeing from that number 21 car. You start in 26, you end up on the podium here. How did you get it up into position there in the end?
Just early, it was all just positioning in the early portions of the race. Myself and teammate Kyle, we kind of methodically just moved our way up, and then he got messed up in a few of the early cautions, so it kind of just left me on my lonesome up there. So I had to try and pick and choose drafting mates. Me and Mark worked together for a little bit, and so by the end of stage 1 and 2, we're working together. I had a little bit of damage between me and Mark on pit road, but worked together just fine. Then stage 3 happened, and once I got up to the front, like in the top 3-4, I didn't want to make any crazy moves. I was like, let's just wait this out. We'll be there at the end if we just wait this out. Pit road happened. I had a strategy, just took 2 tires. I had a lot of feeling that people were gonna just take none, and I think I was right, because I sucked up onto people really quickly. But I helped Nick Nick and Brett, we worked together to get back up to the pack. And once we got there, I knew we had something. I worked with the Vincents to get to the outside. Once we got there, I was like, okay, I think I got a chance. I just gotta hope somebody goes with me. Being by yourself doesn't work. Because as soon as Chris Samard and the V-Speed guys had a little hole, they took it, and that's what put me in the back of that pack. So last lap, I had to think, who's gonna get the run? Where's it gonna come from? And I gotta try and go with it. And I was like, going into 3 and 4, I'm like, something's gonna happen, and it did. So I hit the brakes, went left, got a little bit of a hit, kept it straight, and I didn't even know where I finished until I passed the finish line. I was like, I don't know who was left. I just kind of kept going.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much cleaned everybody out except for you guys there. I mean, the top two were separated by 0.3 of a second, and then you were 6 seconds back, and then everybody else at least 9, almost 10 seconds back. So, yeah, pretty well cleaned out everybody up there in the lead group, and actually some of the guys from the second pack made it up into the top 10. But perfect, place to be to get the finish that you need, and you came into the race 20th in points, so this will be a big boost there. I think you got a few stage points in this race as well, and we head to a very different track next week at Daytona Road Course. So what are your thoughts on that track?
If I was able to race it, I would definitely say it's going to be troublesome. As of right now, I'm most likely not going to be able to because I'm moving, but if I can, I'll try, but I'm not sure if I will. But I know I ran it when it was in the official races, and it's a troublesome track with these cars because it's so unresponsive when they go left and right on at least that road course. So it takes a little bit more finesse to try and get through it. So it'll be really interesting for a lot of these guys. So I'll definitely try and help my teammates out, even if I can't race.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a fun one to watch. I think there's going to be some chaos and definitely a technical road course. It can be very difficult to get around. But third place finish here tonight. You didn't make it to the front at any point, but you were right up there in the mix. And when it mattered, you came home on the podium. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for third place tonight?
Of course, all the league sponsors, Nick, Jordan, Timmy, all of them, and Zach. Like everybody who runs this league, it runs just so smoothly. All the sponsors, the nice Viking Motorsports Tonight, Simulators Anonymous, V-Speed, everybody. And then my sponsors with Outlaw Desert Racing. I know they'll love to see this. We brought this car out last week. Didn't really get to show them because we kind of got taken out early. So to bring home a third place finish with this car and new scheme, they're definitely going to be happy. A Bruzy, Race Aesthetic, and then it's a great P3, that's great. Hopefully, once we come back after the week break I have to take, we kind of keep that momentum and just push forward. It's been a rough start of the year, and this is a good kick in the butt to keep going.
Yeah, hopefully a nice momentum shift here, and you'll have just another race to make your way into the top 16 there. And now with the car on the outside winning, it might be very close around that cut line, but you've had some better performances. It looks like Bristol had a nice strong run there as well, 39 points. So hopefully things going in the right direction, and hope to catch you when you come back in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
Congrats again on the third place.
Thank you very much, Adam, and you have a good night.
Thank you. You too. That was Justin Carey, third place finisher. Once again, your race winner, seemingly out of nowhere, but we kind of had him picked from the start. So if you had been watching throughout, he ends up taking home the victory. Nick Gardner, after 4 cautions, 2 of those for stages, 36 lead changes, a lot happening in that second and third stage. Nick Gardner takes home the win. Dennis Faircloth second, Justin Carey third, Zach Smith fourth, Timmy Emanuele fifth, Eric Gallion 6th. Ryan Gemmell ends up in 7th after being in that second pack, almost 10 seconds or over 10 seconds back. Gallion also in that mix as well. Seth Hatchell ends up 8th. Good recovery for him. Chris Samard even flying through the air and ended up landing on all fours, finishes 9th. Brandon Vasquez finishes in 10th. 11th was Josiah Vincent, 12th. Mark Emerson, 13th. Jeremiah Vincent, 14th, Brett Sommers. 15th, Dallas Sullivan. 16th, Eric Lambert. 17th, Stage 1 winner Kevin Cornelius. 18th, Dennis Steele. 19th, Robert Gilmore. And rounding out the top 20 was Nathaniel Ostrowski. In 21st, Tony Baird. 22nd, Lane Sulfridge. 23rd, Alan Dice. 24th, Lyle Sulfridge. 25th, Cody Adkins. 26th, Jordan Shepler. 27th, TJ Brendel. 28th, Keith Mayato after blowing an engine late. Joey Mines finishes 29th, and Safe Fares also blowing an engine late. Winner of Stage 2 and starting on the pole ends up in 30th here. Disappointing finish for him. Eric Hutton finishes 31st. Kyle Payne 32nd. Nick Alves 33rd. AJ Stravato, 4-time winner. He'll end up 34th tonight and 35th. And last in the field tonight, Dylan Teal. But that's going to do it from Talladega. We will be back next week with this series from the Daytona Road Course. You will not want to miss that. Check out all the links here on screen to stay updated with what we're doing throughout the week and to follow along with race replays and everything like that. We post on Facebook and Twitter before we go live, and also share some interesting automotive content on those platforms. You can also check out all our sponsors below in the About section of the channel. We've got some new ones on board and want to let you in on some of the deals and sponsors on the channel here. So check those out. You can also check us out at vspeedsim.com to find out the other services that we offer, including custom design work, custom merchandise, 3D printing, and much more. So check us out over there, and let's see who we can jump in with. We will jump in with Mr. David Childhouse, good friend of the channel here, and go check out his content. It looks like he is racing it up right now. Thank you so much for all the likes, all the following. Thank you, Rocco24ever, for the follow late here in this broadcast. And hope to see you all next week. And until then, have a great night and a great weekend.